Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. It's Dolphins football here as we begin the second quarter. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
Not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Marked that down for a win in the defense's column.
Given 6 on the screen, but now it's 3rd down.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage to be an impactful play, because if you get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves that they might get hit with a screen, maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, that's a win for that play.
He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't give them the 1st down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage.
An 8-yard pickup. And the Dolphins.
In motion, the tight end.
Now Achane on 1st and 10.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. They'll look to throw. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd.
These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege.
Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
You doing okay over there, partner? Because actually had another sack in this game that you just had to call. We're not even at halftime yet. No wonder this team has the lead. What an effort by the defense right from the word go. The adjustments at halftime, they're going to have to be big, or this could really get ugly in the second half.
4th down, Corliss Waitman now on to punt.
And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback.
There's a look at receiver Jamar Chase as the Bengals get set to go on offense.
He might be on his way to a record-setting performance. So good here. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And it's so interesting when we watch these types of days unfold for a receiver because they need a quarterback throwing it accurately, people to block for the quarterback, so many other variables. But, boy, he's getting it done, and in a big way. Right now, he wants to rock on every snap.
And he's counting his yards in the hundreds, not the 10s. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a 1st.
It's really something special when we see a quarterback time 100 yards in one half of football. And if he keeps up this pace in the second half, the NFL record for single-game rushing by a QB is certainly in sight.
Now he's loose again. Inside the 10.
And he'll take this into the end zone for Bengal TD.
Chase Brown
on his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns.
And the Bengals are able to widen their lead here in this first half. And McPherson on for the extra point.
And the route is on here in this first half. The quick strike ability certainly intact there. 2 plays, 80 yards to score it.
Kevin McPherson, the kickoff for Cincinnati.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Dolphins about set to go to work on offense.
It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Here's 2nd and 8. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Just a gain of a couple there. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far, offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
This is taken at the 18. Oh, he shifts past him. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. Might he be on his way to a record-setting performance here, Charles? 2nd quarter, and the yardage number already ridiculous.
And they always talk about just focusing on the next play, but sometimes it's okay to dream big because
I'm focusing on the 4th quarter already.
Listen, I don't blame you, though, because we could be witnessing some type of history.
Man, it's caught inside the 10. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown.
Jamar Chase,
62 yards.
And the Bengals extend their lead yet again. McPherson now for the extra point.
And the route is on here in this first half. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra-quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see, just one play resulting in the touchdown.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away.
Now a hit and a loose football. And I believe he was able to get this back. He was. Boy, after giving up the touchdown, lucky that didn't turn into another. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over.
And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
2nd and 11. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. One, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But two, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
They're waiting in now to punt as he sends this one away.
That's taken on the 25. Oh, look at the juke.
So a good punt there, but a very strong 14-yard return. And they will take over 1st and 10.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
He doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend.
Taken down at the 42. Second down and 6 now from the 42.
A gain of 4. It's now second and 6.
Now Burrow changing things up here. Another run for Brown on second down.
Dances by him. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
Boy, 203 yards rushing for him now as he has been strong here in the first half of this divisional round matchup.
10 at the 36-yard line.
Diamonds on me fight, Nick and Reese, Iketina, Orange Richard Meal on me dancing just like Bia, going against Glizz, I wouldn't want to be a.
So now first and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 36.
Right, 80.
Off the play fake, here's Burrow.
Going for Chase on the crosser, he's got it.
He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20.
Bengals first down. First and 10
Here we go.
at the 21-yard line.
Right, 80. Right, hot.
An inside give, Brown. And they're knocking on the door now. There's a good run there. They're going to take this to about the 10-yard line.
That's another Bengals first down.
Here's Burrow. Now he'll tuck this and run. Toward the pylon, caught. Touchdown. Jamar Chase from 10 yards out. And the Bengals have got it on cruise control. Boy, I mean, at this point, what more do we say here? I got nothing.
And you know, so many people talk all the time about having announcer-less games, and they want that. This could be a candidate for it, because if we stay here and do this, we got a lot to fill in the second half.
There's still another half. McPherson on for the point after.
And the route is on here in this first half. The drive summary that time, 5 plays.
And it was Jamar Chase who finished it off with a touchdown reception.
Evan McPherson to kick off for Cincinnati.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together and drive and give his leg a rest.
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up second down.
I know that halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his big catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end.
From the 44 now, here's second and 4.
The slot man in motion right.
And he'll get it here on the touch pass.
And I think the ball's out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another first and 10. Looking to throw. Hooks. It's complete on the bubble screen. That's Hill. They'll get it to the 40. Sweet little move in there, but couldn't get much yardage out of it.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's 2nd and 6.
Again, he'll drop to throw. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. The Dolphins on 3rd down. Can you believe it? 0 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line. The pocket collapsed around him. I know we talk about it a lot, but a QB has to have that sixth sense, doesn't it?
He really does, and I know of one team at one point was training their quarterback with that time frame, and anytime he didn't get rid of the ball within the right amount of time, they would blow a horn or blow a whistle to show him this is what that time is, just what you're talking about, training him to understand this is the amount you have, make sure the ball's gone. Didn't happen in this case.
Here we go. 180.
Burrow will throw. Open man downfield is Chase. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Jamar Chase, 46 yards. And the Bengals just continue to roll. I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, I've lost track of how many times he's been in the end zone. This is just flat unbelievable.
Doesn't matter whether you have an abacus, a calculator, just old-fashioned pencil and paper trying to total it up. The number is staggering. What a performance. This man knows how to find the end zone and make it count.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And a rout is on here in this first half.
Dolphins, nothing. Evan McPherson to kick off for Cincinnati.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line.
The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field.
Last time out, they had the fumble. That led to the touchdown. Not a great look on either side of the ball as the defense gave up the points too, Charles. But they've got to take care of the football and do better here on this possession.
It's certainly been a tough stretch, partner, for both of those units, and they kind of put their defensive mates in a really tough spot there by dropping the ball on the ground. But an easy way to make it up to them, get out there now, get some points on this drive.
That really sets them back. A loss of 6.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
Ready. Night.
2nd and long. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Second time in this game, Charles, the ball has squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands? Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
On 3rd down, H.M.
And he gets it up to the 10-yard line here. He did well to get him 8 yards, but it's still going to mean a call to the punt team on 4th down. Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on divisional round weekend. The Dolphins will send out the punter now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Taking it about the 36. Shifts past him at the 45. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And that will come the offense as they take over.
Jamar Chase hoping to be at center stage yet again as the offense returns to the field.
He's the star wide receiver, and he's doing his thing so far here into the second quarter.
And how you get distinguished as a star is each and every week performing to a high level no matter what they throw at you, because you're always wanting to take him out of the game if you're a defensive team. How do you press him, double him, triple him, all of those things? But the best players show up each and every week. Solid games and some spectacular ones.
And he has showed up time and time again.
It's a gain of 11. That's good for a Bengals first down. First and 10.
Burrow looking to pass. Looking deep here for Chase. He's got it. Touchdown, Bengals. Jamar Chase, 41 yards. And the Bengals are pouring it on. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. That's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long, man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
And McPherson on for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy two-play drive that time.
Evan McPherson, the kickoff for Cincinnati.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Miami's offense set and ready to go. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few caprices together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Now a shotgun snap as they look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this ball recovered by the offense. But remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble. Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered because had the defense gotten it, they were already within a shadow of the goalpost.
Yeah, and then you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear.
In trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the end zone loose. And this will be gathered up in the end zone, and that's a defensive touchdown. Well, Charles, I mean, things just seem to be getting worse and worse for one sideline, or flip it over after that fumble return for a touchdown. Better and better on the opposite end. What an impressive first half performance.
And partner, I know the saying in the NFL goes that no lead is safe, but I will say that this one seems pretty secure. And if we continue to see plays like that, I'm going to switch back and say this lead is safe.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And a route is on here in this first half.
Evan McPherson, the kickoff for Cincinnati.
And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Miami set to take over. And with a little under a minute remaining, they may try to put something together here just to try to cut into that deficit. Here's Achane to start the drive. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime.
Let's go now.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
2nd and 9 now. They set up the script. And he lost the football. And some room to run now. And this is taken into the end zone. Fumble touchdown. So that is now 2 fumble return touchdowns. You're talking about something that's going to drive a head coach crazy.
Without a doubt. But for the defensive guys, once you do it once, you create a frenzy. Everybody wants to get involved, and they got it done a second time.
McPherson now for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6.
Evan McPherson, the kickoff for Cincinnati.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. Devon Achane of the offense ready to go once again. Looking for a bounce back. Had the fumble a moment ago that went for a touchdown the other direction. See if he can get back in rhythm.
And you have to be very careful about having too quick of a hook with really good players. I did a guy's game in high school where he fumbled 3 times in the first quarter, finished with over 300 yards on the night, later ended up in the NFL. If you got a talented back, give it back to him.
It's a pickup of 3.
Operating from the gun. Hooks. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this ball recovered by the offense. But remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble. The good news, they kept the ball. Bad news, it's 3rd and long.
Hey!
Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. Now the Bengals going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Now we get to see the punter, Corliss Waitman. This is fielded at the 27. Avoids it at the 40. Might have needed just one more block as it stands. 37-yard return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half.
On 1, ready?
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Gun. 11. Side. Wide 80. Wide 80 shot. 11 MT. Side.
Now Burrow. The 7-yard line, the catch is made. Oh, he's going to be brought down a few yards short of the goal line, and they're going to be unable to stop the clock from here. So close yet so far, and that's going to be how this first half will come to an end.